I'm Howie Spira. You remember me as the publicist for New York Yankees outfielder Dave Winfield and the guy who got New York Yankees owner George Steinbrenner thrown out of baseball. That was in the past. This is the present, and this is going to be in the future. We're going to have a hard-hitting sports show. I'm not going to worry about hurting people's feelings. I'm not going to worry about being sued. I'm going to tell it how it is, like it is. No holds barred. Texas death match. Wherever the chips fall, they fall. And this is a show that will be talked about, and this is a show you will enjoy. Welcome to the Howie Spira Show. Let's roll it.
On air. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, New York. Welcome to the Howie Spira Show. I'm Howie Spira. I have an interesting set of producers. They said, open up with something about your childhood. Okay, I'll do it their way. When I was a little boy, I thought different than other people. My mother, my father, my sister, and myself went upstate to Lake Mohegan, Peekskill, off Route 6, to something called the Bungalow Colony, from the end of June until Labor Day. Swimming pool, tennis court. It was like the white people's version of the Fresh Air Fund. Well, in the middle of the summer, my counselor came to me and he gave me a permission slip. He said, you have to take this home. Tomorrow, we're going to go on an overnight. You need a sleeping bag, a canteen, and a flashlight. And I started to cry. So then they couldn't speak to kids. They quickly wrote a note, sent it home with me to have my mother come the next morning to the camp director's office and figure out what was happening. Well, it was only the beginning. First the camp director, then the principal, the police, the FBI, it just, people should have saw it coming. So my mother comes up 8 o'clock the next morning, everyone's sitting around, the camp director, the assistant camp director, the counselors, myself, my mom, the whole bit. And the camp director says, well, we want to know, and my mother's like, just a minute, I got this. I've never seen my mother act like that before. She takes me by the hand. That's when she used to like me. And she said, honey, tell me what happened. I said, Mommy, I was just upset because I felt bad for all the people that died. And they're like, what do you mean died? I said, well, I just felt bad for all the people that died in the fire. And my mother said, honey, why do you think people died in a fire? I said, Mommy, if the hotel didn't burn down, why do we have to sleep in the dirt? The camp director looks at my mother and says, I don't think this is the camp for him. Even at 6 years old, I thought different than other people. And now, everything is tweet and twit and this and that. My people are making me tweet. Oh my God, between the texting, the tweeting, the masturbation, my hand is so tired, I can't even pick it up anymore. I have carpal tunnel syndrome, and I don't even know what that means. All I know, you can follow the show on www.thehowieспирashow.podbean.com for the podcast, and on the Howie Spira YouTube channel for the video. And follow me on Twitter. I have no idea what I just said, but I memorized it because they threatened me. I hope you people follow and like the show. We'll be back with off-the-field headlines in another week of how the NFL turns as we return to the Howie Spira Show. Welcome back. Even in prison, the one thing you learn is never, ever talk about someone's mother. To this moment, in 55 and a half years of life, if that's what I have never spoken about someone's mother. But this is a little different. I have to read a quote that came in over the weekend. It bothers me so much that I couldn't sleep. Not that I sleep anyway. Adrian Peterson's mom says, when you whip those you love, it's not about abuse, it's about love. What the fuck? I mean, there's an old saying, the idiot doesn't fall far from the tree. That is the most ridiculous thing. This thing with the child abuse, it bothers me. I told you I was abused as a little boy with sticks and hammers and nails and fists and rulers and etc. The thought of a little boy being hit with a tree branch. It just, I don't care what all these idiots say about corporal punishment and this and that. I said it last week. I stand behind it. If Adrian Peterson's hand that hit the kid with the tree branch was chopped off, I bet you he'd think twice before he did it a second time. And now, last Friday at 2:11, Commissioner Goodell had a press conference. Of course, I only watched one show. I'm sorry, that's my fault. 3:11. General Hospital just moved from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Everything else happens during General Hospital. Things can't wait till 3:58 and the first news at 4 starts. It has to be during General Hospital. People are making a mistake here. They're too worried what the commissioner knew, what he didn't know. Okay, he lied. The whole world knows he lied. But it's still that Ray Rice beat up the fiance, who's not too bright, who dropped the charges. The Ravens intervened. What's his name? Buschetti, the owner, Ozzie Newsome, the GM, Harbaugh, the coach. Of course they intervened. They want the guy in the field. They don't care if he murders somebody off the field. He wants him to run for first downs. I mean, but Janae doesn't care because she condoned it, because she married him, and now she's telling the world the media's ruining my life. They're trying to help you, bitch. They're trying to help you. Well, Commissioner Goodell works for the owners. How many of them? 32 billionaires? He made $44 million last year. He must be paid because he's doing something right. Look at the money that the NFL makes. All week it was Adrian Peterson. And then it was the guy from the Cardinals, Dwyer. But come Sunday, come 1:02 Eastern Time on Sunday afternoon, when they kick off, nobody gives a fuck who hit who sexually assaulted who cursed who. Once they kick off, it's about football. And it's that simple. Short of a terrorist attack, come 1:02 Eastern on a Sunday afternoon, it's NFL football. And you know, it's not only the NFL. In college, this fool, Jameis Winston, the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback for the national champion Florida State Seminoles. Oh, he got suspended for the first half of Saturday night's game, which after public pressure turned into the whole game. Clemson had Florida State beaten no less than 6 times. Either it was, somebody pointed out to me, somebody very close to me pointed out to me that game must have been fixed because no kicker misses a 23-yard field goal, and they had 1st and goal at the inch line, and they're in the shotgun. All they have to do is take the snap, reach over. I mean, I could do it. He's in the shotgun. The guy snaps it over his head, goes back 25 yards. I mean, they don't even do that in a cartoon, in the Bad News Bears. It's ridiculous. Anybody who watched Jameis Winston on Saturday night, more cameras were on him than on the field. There's something wrong with him. I mean, just looking at his face, his gyrations, he's sick. Now, talk about sick for a minute. Harbaugh, the tripolar coach of the San Francisco 49ers. After the Giants won yesterday, you're very welcome, because I guarantee that is the lock of the week. And part of the duo of the week, if you needed a parlay, a combination, the MetLife combination, the Giants yesterday, the Jets tonight. Jets beat the Bears tonight. But anyway, Harbaugh is tripolar. Just look at the face he makes, the way he moves his hat, the way he moves his microphone, the way he gets ready for the play. He's not normal. Get any expert, I guarantee you they'll back me up on this. He's not normal. So I happen to like the Arizona Cardinals. They won 7 of their last 9 games last season, finished 10-6, and just didn't make the playoffs because they're in a very tough division with the Super Bowl champions and the 49ers. So the Seahawks and the 49ers, NFC was very tough. So they won 7 out of 9. They finished 10-6. Well, they carried that momentum into this season. Tremendous comeback late on a Monday night, 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time, beating the Chargers 18-17. Really playing very, very well in the fourth quarter. Ginn Jr. ran back a punt for a touchdown, beat the Giants. And yesterday, in a game that means everything to them, because with a win, they go 3-0. Doesn't sound like much. With 13 games left and the 49ers are 1-2, they have a 2.5 game lead over them because 2 games plus right now the tiebreaker. Well, it was 14-6 49ers at the half. Usually the 49ers put together a game like that and they win 28-10, 28-13. Arizona came out strong, but they had help. The dirty, vile, filthy thugs, the garbage of society, the San Francisco 49ers, personal foul after personal foul, chop of the knees, hit in the head, headbutt in the head, late hit, again and again and again. I thought they were showing replays. It was like 5 to 8 penalties in a 10-play span. Some weren't accepted. Again and again and again and again. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I grew up in the ghetto. In the ghetto, they don't act like the San Francisco 49ers did yesterday. The San Francisco 49ers are what's wrong with the NFL, and they're what's wrong with society. They're just not human beings. They're disgusting, vile creatures who happen to be somebody who's talented enough to play football. Now it's time to recap what actually happened on the field this weekend. And for that, I bring in my sidekick, my esteemed representative, Kojo. Kojo, where is he? Last week there was breaking news in the bathroom. Where's he this week? Kojo!
Here I am.
Oh, here he is. There must be more breaking news in the toilet.
I was in the sound booth. How are you, Howie?
Hi, Kojo. Any more breaking news?
Well, not yet.
Well,
I'll keep my finger on the pulse, though.
I told you that it was a must-win, season-breaking game for the Giants. I guaranteed victory. They played like a team that won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, it was your lock. You called it right on the nose.
And, you know, everybody's giving Jennings a lot of kudos, 176 yards. It was just Victor Cruz, 100 yards, and finally got the salsa. But nobody's mentioning the thing that led to the victory. Of course, they praise Eli Manning, 75%. The average pass was 2 yards.
What do you think it was that led to the victory?
Offensive line. They gave tremendous protection so Manning could actually walk after the game. And who do you think opened the holes for Jennings?
Absolutely right.
I
Good
mean,
call.
this makeshift offensive line did a great job against probably the best, a defensive end in J.J. Watt?
J.J. Watt was virtually non-existent
On the first play on defense, J.J. Watt sacked Manning.
Yeah.
And with one hand, no less.
Yeah.
He swiped at him. I'm thinking, oh, God, again and again, there's going to be nothing to do in October, November, December when they lose this. And then the Giants drove all the way down the field.
Yes.
Chip shot field goal. He snapped the ball in the garbage.
Yeah.
Like one of Tiger Woods' drives. It went God knows where, over his head in the corner. I'm like, this
terrible.
is a pro player?
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Coughlin, I really thought he was going to drop dead. He even turned a different shade of red purple. It was just unbelievable. But then one thing, the Giants' defense kept them in the game. They had, 3-4 interceptions. Yeah. They rallied to the ball. They hit like they meant it. And it was the type of defensive effort that leads to victories in the National Football League.
Let me ask you something, Howie. Do you think it's a turning point for the team, or do you think it was just Texans having a bad day and the Giants had a great day?
Well, based on the geniuses who make the schedule, we're going to know soon enough, because at 8:27 on Thursday night, the Giants are in the nation's capital against a Washington team that lost to Philly but put up 400-plus yards passing. So,
let's talk about those guys, Washington and Philly. What about that game?
Well,
you talked about how dirty the San Francisco game was.
Philadelphia is 3-0 the way the Giants were 5-0 in the preseason.
Yeah.
They're giving up 34 points a game. You're not going to win that in real life. Maybe at the beginning of a season, you can't outscore everybody.
And they've had a double-digit deficit in every single game.
Absolutely. Yeah. But the bottom line is that my phone, my cheap ass Kanamakanolta, whatever it's called, Kyocera. I don't know. I'm not like Japanese. All I know is it starts beeping. Big brawl, Redskins, Eagles, and like it's flashing like there's a terrorist attack. This beep, beep, beep.
Right.
Big brawl in these big ass letters. I mean, I don't even understand. For once, NFL players weren't hitting a woman. They weren't hitting a little boy. 300-pound men with helmets and pads out to here and stomachs out to here who beat each other fucking death. Who cares? I mean, who cares?
Right.
That first of all, nobody's ever going to get hit. When a 300-pound guy hit, it's like sumo wrestlers. They bounce off each other. And then when they're out of harm's way, they take off the helmet and they get all tough. Just like in the witness protection program,
Right.
when they say, "Can you tell?" I can't tell. You had no trouble on the witness stand, motherfucker. All I could tell you is it was absolutely ridiculous. But come football, okay, the Giants won Thursday night. We'll see soon enough. And tonight, in the Meadowlands, part 2 of my combination that's guaranteed. The Jets and the Bears under the lights at MetLife Stadium. The Jets go to 2-1. Even
with Geno?
Even, oh my God, even with Geno. Said,
Oh
I had
my
8 days
goodness.
to rest thinking about him.
Why are you so confident in them tonight?
I think the defense will come to play. I think that Chicago will get rattled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's something going back to Howard Cosell and ABC's Monday Night Football decades ago. There's something about Monday Night Football crowds. Well, they get drunk
Right.
and they get rowdy, and they'll be ready.
And
and
you think that's gonna throw off Cutler's game?
I would think so. I mean,
Interesting.
just looking at Cutler throws off his game anyway.
Right.
And I mean, look, this is a team 2 weeks ago that lost to Buffalo at home when they were picked to go to the Super Bowl.
Right.
They'll go to the Super Bowl. They need tickets, but it's going to be very interesting because the Jets will win that game, and it's gonna segue into what's going to be a very interesting season because teams like the San Francisco 49ers are 1-2.
Right.
Green Bay is 1-2. The Giants are 1-2. Now I want you to just think about that. Colin Kaepernick, Aaron Rodgers,
Right.
Eli Manning are all 1-2.
And
3
Tom
and
Brady should be 1-2.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about those guys.
The Patriots at home, not counting the spread, because I hear people actually gamble, but 15-point favorite. Okay, nobody's a 15-point favorite anymore in the NFL.
Right.
And in the bottom of the scroll, the scores every few seconds, and it said New England 10, Oakland 9, 9 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Now, I knew that New England would hold on and win, but that's unbelievable. That usually they're up 35-3 at that point. It's just not...
Versus Oakland, no less.
Right. Exactly my point. Like, Oakland's they're not a real team.
No.
And it was a matter of, it's the cream from the past is not rising to the top. Like, there are new teams out there. Right at this moment, in the American Football Conference, the AFC, in my opinion, the best team is the Cincinnati Bengals. They're the only undefeated team in the AFC. They're 3-0. And I believe a week from Monday night, they go into Foxborough in a national TV audience and play the Patriots. Well, that's going to be a very interesting game. If somehow they beat the Patriots, well, they've established themselves a quarter of the way through the season, and it's going to be very interesting.
Let me ask you about you're talking about the best team in the AFC. What do you think about the Chargers? Are they for real?
Well, they bounced back from a devastating loss in Game 1, 18-17 to Arizona.
Right.
And now 2 quick wins. They're 2-1.
Right.
Listen.
And they beat one of those wins is the Seahawks. So,
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Everyone's like, well, this a trap game. Well, the Seahawks weren't up for the game. Well, look. There are 16 games
Oh, yeah.
on offense, on defense, special teams. How long do they play? 20 minutes? I mean, be ready. You get $1 million a fucking snap.
Right.
Play. How hard is it? The second games yesterday, the late games, amazing. I mean, I was watching more Arizona and the 49ers
Right.
because at 17-3, I thought Seattle had Denver beaten
Done,
at home.
yeah.
I turn it back. It's 17-12. Denver has the ball on the 28 of Seattle,
Right.
and a touchdown puts them ahead.
Yeah.
Whether or not they get the conversion, the 2 points, and Denver called time. I thought that was a tremendous mistake because as they set their offense, Seattle got to set their defense.
Absolutely.
And that defense are animals. They get it done. He threw the interception.
And they brought fresh legs in.
It was run back about 57
Mm-hmm,
yards. They made Denver use their timeouts. They kicked the field goal. They led 20-12. 59 seconds left. They kicked the ball out of the end zone. So follow this now. It's 20-12.
Right.
Denver trails by 8. 59 seconds left. No timeouts. The most hostile crowd in professional or collegiate football against the Super Bowl champions. Boom, boom, boom. Touchdown. 41 seconds. 80 yards.
It's unbelievable he was able to do that.
And then, if that wasn't bad enough against Richard Sherman,
yeah.
the mouth from hell, they got the 2-point
Two-point,
conversion. Now, it would have been so. Then it's 2020. Russell Wilson takes a knee. They go to overtime. It would have been so easy for Seattle to fall down right there. So easy.
Of course.
They get the opening kick. They win the toss.
Toss, right.
And they take the ball. Now, they change the overtime rules. If you get a field goal, the other team gets a shot. They went 80 yards. Just every play was beautiful. For a touchdown, Manning took his helmet on, took it off, on, off on the sideline. He never got in. Seattle won that game. And look, I have the ultimate respect for Peyton Manning. But Seattle, that's why they're going to repeat as Super Bowl champions. They're just that good. It's very simple. They're just that good.
Is it about the whole team, or do you think on offense specifically it's about the quarterback?
No, it's the whole team.
Yeah.
The offensive line always knows who to block. They don't commit false starts, illegal procedures.
Right. They're disciplined.
Not only disciplined, they know what they're doing. And see, those big words, they make my headphones hurt. But the thing is that they're sound. They know how to play football, something that people in New York don't know.
What about what was the other late game that you were talking about? The
Arizona 49ers.
Yeah, you talked about San Francisco a little bit and how the guys are thugs.
Okay, well, they have, I believe the figure is 225 yards in penalties in the last 2 weeks.
Holy
So
shit.
they're averaging 112 and a half yards per game. Think how hard it is to get. Forget the fives. You got to get all the 15s.
Right.
The personal fouls. One after the other after the other. And those were only the penalties that were accepted. Because if you make a play, you decline the penalty.
Right.
It's look, I have all the respect for Arizona. They're 3-0. They're set up. The 49ers are in trouble. First, they have a tripolar head coach, as we know.
Right, you talked about
And they have people maybe coming back after the 9th game if they're not in jail, if they're not grand jury and subpoenaed and indicted. I mean, it used to be injury. Now it's bail. I mean, it's the most amazing thing. That's what sports has come to. But the 49ers have 1 win and 2 losses. In a division that they play Arizona again, although at home, Seattle 2
Twice.
times. I mean, they have a really tough schedule.
Yeah.
They've already got 2 losses, and we're in the 3rd week in September. That's a really serious situation.
And who else do they play? The Rams, right?
Well, see, now the Rams, I don't understand the Rams.
Exactly.
They led
They're
21
wild
nothing.
card.
Yeah, they led 21 nothing against the Cowboys. I guess they were told don't win this game because it's very hard to blow a 21 nothing lead at home.
Yeah, it seemed like they stopped playing.
Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't watch the game.
How do you let Des Bryant get so wide open? I just saw the highlight of him catching a touchdown from Tony Romo where there was no one within 15 yards of him.
And then the defensive guy goes, my bad. Again
There it
that
is.
shit. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my bad.
Right.
I throw up on the floor of my living room. I can't stand when the 49er defensive back, he hit the guy. He was so far out of bounds that he almost hit the fan when he hit the player. He was almost in the stands. And then he's looking at it. My bad. Fucking idiot. I mean, who is he trying to impress?
Let's take a break and come back and talk about that baseball.
We're back.
So it turns out there's
Wait,
some
we're going to get to the college football
Okay.
in just a moment. My esteemed producer, who I swear to God, I thought he was out getting us like pastrami or something for lunch.
Wishful
He's like,
thinking.
hell yeah, with maybe a pickle and coleslaw.
Oh, boy.
He says, I was just retweeted. I swear I was going to call my primary doctor and say, do I need a vaccination for that? I don't even know what that means. But it was explained to me during the break like I was special. Statewide tree management, I believe I said it correctly because they'll be our new sponsor, they just don't know it yet, has retweeted me because of what I said about Adrian Peterson with the tree brands, etc. My mother is going to be so proud, even though I dropped out of NYU.
I'm proud of you, Howie.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, to college football, they all stink. Florida State won in overtime, but they lost. Oregon,
Wait, before you move on, what do you mean by that? They won, but they lost.
Okay, they were playing a team that your children could beat.
Yeah.
They made mistakes that even if it was a script in a movie, it would have to be rewritten. It was so ridiculous. The way, okay, he missed a 23-yard field goal, which is almost impossible. I want you this will stay with me forever. This is a Geno Smith moment. 1st and goal to beat the national champions, #1 ranked team at their stadium. 1st and goal, this far away, inch away. Okay, the quarterback, all he has to do is get under center, reach the ball out, it's a touchdown.
Howie, I had said to you offline that whole game stank. It stunk.
Well, I don't know what offline means. You told me on the phone. But they snapped the ball over the guy's head 30 yards. I couldn't even believe what I was watching. Now, I saw something very interesting yesterday. The Arizona Cardinals kicker, rookie who never misses, he came from Clemson.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they have this retard kicking now. It's ridiculous.
I don't know.
So Oregon scores 38 points, the #2 team in the country, who I believe is #1. Washington State scores 31 and really had numerous chances to win it.
Right.
Alabama playing Florida, they kept turning the ball over and Florida kept running it for touchdowns. It was 14-7 Florida, and then Alabama woke up a little, but they don't look good. They just don't look good. Oklahoma, #4, went to West Virginia, to Morgantown. West Virginia actually could have won that game, but they in the 3rd and 4th quarter they fell down. Oklahoma won. I believe it was 38-27.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Auburn, the #5 team, on Thursday night beat Kansas State. I think it was 20-16. The only team that played well, Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I think it was 58-6 or something. So they're the only ones who played like a real top 10
Yeah,
team.
that kid they've got as quarterback now is just he's Kenny Football. I think his name is Kenny Hill.
That's Johnny Manziel's school, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And Baylor was off as #7. LSU, who never loses at home, not even to teams like Alabama, they lost at home to
Yeah.
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, exactly.
And I happen to like Notre Dame. I don't know if it's because they're such a prominent school, or Regis Philbin went there, or they're on TV every week. It gives me something to do.
Regis Philbin.
Didn't he go to Notre Dame?
Yeah, but what the hell is that?
Well,
have
I
to do with
like
college
Regis.
football?
Everybody threw him in the garbage. I like him.
Okay.
And they went from nothing to 25 to 19 to 16 to 11 to 9. They're already 8 in the country. And a lot of those teams are going to play each other. If they keep winning, they'll be in the Final Four. Because remember, there's 4 teams
That's
now.
true.
I mean, if I had to pick them right this minute, I would pick Texas A&M,
Yeah.
Oregon, Notre Dame, and Oklahoma.
Got it.
Not Florida State, not Alabama.
Not Alabama.
No, not these other garbage teams.
So right now, you would have nobody from the SEC in that
Right.
in that Final
well,
Four.
they've been in the last 150
Yeah.
years. I mean, it's about time because it takes a toll when you beat
That's
up on each
interesting.
other.
Yeah.
You want to talk about baseball?
Man, love to talk about baseball.
Your boyfriend Friday afternoon, Clayton Kershaw,
Oh.
won his 20. Didn't play well, didn't pitch well, and for once the bats picked him up.
The bats.
I
woke
think
up.
he pitched 5 innings.
Yeah.
They beat him up at Wrigley, 20-3. He was 3-2.
And
He's
you know
17-1.
You know something we haven't talked about? He didn't pitch all of April. So those 20 games.
No, I remember months ago I told you that, and I'm like, where is he? Because I was fascinated that he got a contract for $31 million,
That's true.
which is, how many starts do they have? Approximately 30, right?
Yes.
So every time he goes out there,
He's getting $1 million.
in round numbers, it's $1 million.
Correct.
It's over $100,000 per inning.
Yeah.
It's $33,000 and change per out. It's $11,000 per strike. I'm a little busy. But my point is, think of those
Break it
numbers.
down.
There are kids who have no food, no clothes, no hospitalization, nobody has insurance. 31 million. I mean, come on. How much money is Magic Johnson going to give out? Now, I will say one thing straight out. The Los Angeles Dodgers will face, in essence, the Los Angeles Angels, which is the Anaheim of Los Angeles, but the Dodgers and Angels, L.A., there's your World Series.
So it's an LA World Series you're calling
100%.
it. Wow.
Clayton Kershaw versus Albert Pujols. Now, that's a real matchup. I mean, that's real baseball. That's not something we have in New York anymore.
Right, you're right.
And we only have you need to go out and get your memorabilia because there's only 7 days left in the Derek Jeter Worldwide Farewell Tour.
Wow.
1 week from today, Derek Jeter will not play for the New York Yankees anymore.
Or for any major league team.
I'm a little sad. Is there tissues? I'm a little broken up. But I mean, he's got more gifts. He doesn't want these gifts. What he wanted was World Series championships,
Of course.
1 in 14 years, $3 billion. Don't get me started. The Detroit Tigers are going to hang on barely and win the Central.
Right.
The Baltimore Orioles have won the East. So Baltimore will host Detroit in the divisional round. That's a good series.
That's a great series.
It's-
What happens?
If I had to pick it right now, everybody's going to say Scherzer and Price and Verlander and Kate Upton. It's going to be Baltimore who's going to win that series. The Angels will be, I mean, look who's limping home. The A's, the Mariners, the Royals, trying to hang on with the
barely hang
last
on.
breath
Right.
of gasoline, of fumes to get the wild card. In the National League, Washington is in the East, St. Louis is the Central, Dodgers are the West. Giants and Pirates are dead tied at this moment
Yeah.
for the first and second wild cards, which they will each win. The only question is who's going to get the home field in the one-game playoff and then play the Dodgers. I mean, St. Louis is not anything. They're good enough to beat average teams. They're not going anywhere in the playoffs.
You're not going to beat the Dodgers or any strong team like
No,
that.
I don't see it. Everyone is saying that the Washington Nationals is that good. I don't see it. I don't.
That's what I was going to ask you about. So how do you see? Because my guess is that it's going to be the Dodgers versus the Nationals for the National League pennant, and probably Baltimore and the Angels for the American League pennant. What do you think?
Yes,
Those would be the final four.
yes.
What happens in the National? You think Washington just gets beat up by the Dodgers?
Well, look at it this way. It's a best of 5,
Right.
In the first round. In the second round, it's best of 7. So technically, you could pitch Kershaw 3 times.
Right. Wow.
They're not going to do that with Strasburg coming off Tommy John surgery, and
course not.
they're afraid and this and that. I mean, and don't forget, don't the Dodgers have Greinke
Yeah, they do.
and this guy Ryu?
Ryu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pew, what? Well, no, but they have
No, they've
really
got
good,
a staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got a
and,
staff.
And Puig and Adrian Gonzalez and everybody
Yeah.
and Carl Crow, everybody that they left at Boston for trading. And the bottom line on everything was, I don't see any way that the Dodgers, if the Dodgers and the Angels are not there come the end of October, I'd be the most surprised person. The winner, you know what? Let's enjoy it. I mean, let's enjoy it because
Good point.
that's going to be fun.
It's going to be some real baseball. We've
And-
missed that.
And here's something that nobody's going to pick on because sports fans aren't too bright. Since it's on the West Coast, each game will start approximately 5:20, right in the shadows, the twilight.
Right.
You can't see the pitches anyway, and now for the first 4 innings, you're really not going to see the pitches. So the shadows are going to make a tremendous difference, and it's going to be fun to see how it plays out. It really will.
Speaking of picks and selections, let's look at next week's football schedule, NFL. What are your key picks for next week? We have the Thursday night game, which is the Giants versus the Redskins at the Redskins.
Maybe I'm picking it with my heart, but I believe the Giants will win that game, go to 2-2, have 10 days off, and then go from there. I believe the Giants win that game.
All right, so let's. I'll let you select. What are 5 other key games? You've got the Giants.
Well, Green Bay is playing the Bears. The Bears always find a way to fall just short. Last year, the last game of the year,
right.
I look for the Bears. They're going to lose tonight to the Jets. They're going to beat Green Bay. And people say, what's a big deal? Green Bay is going to be 1-3.
Yeah.
Listen, straight out, when you're 1-3, you don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a quarter of the season gone.
Yeah, and you got 12 games left. You got to win at least 9 or 10 of those 12 minimum, and it's not going to happen.
Detroit at the Jets.
Well, on the presumption the Jets win tonight, go to 2-1. I believe, first of all, the Lions are not the same team away from Detroit.
Right.
And I would have the Jets have a very tough schedule coming up. They go into San Diego. They're hosting Denver. I mean, and the 2 New England games.
Yeah, of course.
2 Miami games, 2 Buffalo games. I would have to think, maybe it's my heart, and I try to put my incredible hatred of Geno Smith on the side. If they could win, they go to 3-1, and then the whole season is set up nice.
Good.
The Eagles go to the 49ers,
Yeah.
which is a key game. Now, I don't know who to root for. I hate them both. But I'll know if the Giants win on Thursday night and they're 2-2, then they have a realistic chance to still win the division. So I need the San Francisco Giants to beat the Eagles. They'll be 3-1, and then it makes the 2 Giant Eagle games tremendous. And don't forget Dallas and the Eagles, and they're going to beat each other up. So, but I would have to pick. I can see the 49ers going 1-3. So the 49ers win that game.
Yeah, at home too.
Right.
Saints at Dallas.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Well, the Saints are not the same team. They scored 2 quick touchdowns yesterday, missed the extra point, 13-0, 13-3, 13-6. I think it was 13-9 at one point.
Yeah.
I have to think, but one thing about Dallas, they'll always find a way to lose. So I have to pick the Saints in the fourth quarter, coming back and Drew Brees beating Tony Romo. Saints win that game. Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night's a big game.
New England at a Kansas City team that may have woken up.
Yeah.
They went into Miami yesterday. They beat up the Dolphins. And New England, to me, is not the New England that, first of all, they haven't won a Super Bowl in a decade.
Yeah.
Just like the Yankees. They won 3 out of 4. And the last one, I think, was maybe 04 or so. It's been a decade. So Tom Brady, how old is Tom Brady now? Like 45?
No, he's. I think he's 35.
37 maybe?
I don't know if he's that old.
I would say 30. Okay, but
Well, yeah.
the point is that they're not the same team. They're away from Foxborough. I would have to think that Kansas City, with their tough running game and defense on a Monday night, finds a way to beat the Patriots.
Yeah, and I think Jamal Charles will be back.
Yes, and that,
will be back
you
from
know,
that. That's a big problem.
absolutely.
And I mean, New England's offense isn't what they used to be. I mean,
37.
He's 37. Good point.
I just heard a voice from God. I heard 37. Now, I doubt that means we ordered 37 French fries. But, so,
You hungry, Howie? Keep talking about food.
well, they make a taping time for 11:30. I'm downstairs at 7:23 in the morning. We get a text at 1 o'clock. I'm in traffic. What does that mean? I don't understand. If you leave at 4 in the morning, there'll be no traffic.
problem, right.
But listen, you get what you paid for. I told you. Okay, so you got the Giants to beat the Redskins,
Got it.
the Jets to beat the Lions,
Yeah.
the 49ers to beat the Eagles, the Saints to beat the Cowboys, and the Chiefs to beat New England. The Howie lock of the week.
What's the lock of the week?
Well, I don't like to do this because it's Geno Smith, but I will come back with the Jets as the lock of the week to beat the animals from Detroit, known as the Lions. Jets go to 3-1, beat the Lions.
Wow, that's 2 weeks in a row you've picked the Jets to be lock of the week.
Hey, listen, I told you, I guaranteed you the Jets wouldn't lose yesterday.
The Giants.
No Jets.
But they play tonight.
That's why they wouldn't lose yesterday. Listen, I know you help breaking news. I hope you enjoyed the third episode of the Howie Spira Show. I've done my best to bring you insights, speak from the heart, lay it out, on and off the field. From now on, I hope it's more on the field than off the field. Let's enjoy the games again, not the courtrooms. My podcast, www.thehowiespirashow.podbean.com. The video on the Howie Spira YouTube video channel. I have no idea. They're holding cards up for me with my big eyes. I can't even see the pen I'm holding, never mind the cards. And apparently I'm on Twitter, I don't know what it means, but I do it. And I'm on LinkedIn, logged up, fucked over. I would appreciate if you tune in, tell your friends. Well, most of you who watch this don't have friends, but tell the people who take care of you, home health aides or whatever. I would really appreciate a following, because this is a sports show that will live forever, because I won't, but the show will, because it's honest. And that's it. See you next week on the Howie Spira Show.